Hi, I'm Jaqueline P'ng and this is the evening highlights. There are already protests over the federal government's plan to build an incinerator in Kepong, Selangor. Now PKNS unit Worldwide Holdings is looking to build one as well. Worldwide says an incinerator is necessary because Selangor will run out of landfill space in 7 years.
Actually, this is the in thing now. I think if you are aware, Federal also open tender for the incinerator. But I think in Klang Valley, Selangor is the highest producer for waste. So we should focusing also in Selangor. So being the existing player for Selangor, my focus now is how to improve to to prolong the lifespan of our landfill.
Norazlina wasn't able to say when this incinerator would be built, though she confirmed that it wasn't going to come cheap.
We are ready when the state is ready. Even if the state is ready, we are ready. But this is not a cheap investment cost. It's very capital intensive. We are talking about billion or maybe slightly lower than 1 billion.
Worldwide is the sole company that manages solid waste in Selangor. It has a long-term concession to dump and bury the solid waste produced in the state at its 9 sites. According to the state government's estimates, Selangor residents dump more than 5,000 tons of rubbish every day. And this figure is expected to grow by 2% annually. Transporting the waste to landfills already costs the state up to 400 million ringgit each year. Incinerators would help reduce the use of landfills, as well as curb energy costs and cut carbon dioxide emissions. But the use of incinerators has been linked to health hazards, and residents don't want one in their backyard. A taxi management company is going to sue ride-sharing providers Uber and GrabCar over territorial rights. We picked this up from our sister site, the Malaysian Insider. It says Uber and GrabCar have been picking up passengers in KLCC, where Big Blue Capital manages its taxi services, and the company isn't happy about it. According to the report, Big Blue Capital is planning to sue Uber and GrabCar for trespassing, conducting illegal activities, and allowing vehicles and drivers not approved by SPAD to pick up passengers in its area. Its owner, Dato Shamsu Barin Ismail, reportedly said that there wouldn't have been a problem if the two service provider had registered with his company first. These registered taxis are also required to use the meter. Ismail added that under the deal between Big Blue Capital and KLCC, taxis are required to meet SPAD and Puspacom standards. He believes Uber and GrabCar aren't adhering to this requirement. Big Blue Capital has been in the limelight recently for filing a suit against SPAD. It is accusing the agency for failing in its duty to take action against ride-sharing providers. Moody's expects Petronas earnings to continue plunging next year, though it's affirming its A1 ratings on the oil company. This as it makes a big slash to its crude oil price forecast for 2016 amid a threat of prolonged oversupply. Moody slashed its oil price forecast for Brent by $10 to an average of $43 per barrel in 2016. Prices should improve by $5 per barrel in 2017 and 2018. Under the new crude oil forecast, Moody's VP Vikas Halan is expecting state-owned Petronas to see 40% drop in EBITDA this year. And next year, this should fall further by 4 to 6%. He also expects the company to continue to make investments of 50 billion ringgit in capex in each of the next 3 years. However, he expects Petronas to remain in a net cash position until the end of 2016 at least. Plus, the impact of low oil prices on Petronas earnings will be partly mitigated by depreciation of ringgit against the US dollar. Malaysian banks didn't have it easy this year, and next year is going to be more of the same. Fitch Ratings says there's going to be a greater pressure on earnings and asset quality. It's turning the sector outlook to negative. The rating agency sent out a report today on the outlook for Asia-Pacific banks next year. It said in a climate with persistently low commodity prices, weak external demand and lackluster domestic sentiment, there is a risk to the country's GDP growth. The weaker ringgit isn't helping. Fitch sees some borrowers facing difficulty in adjusting to the significant currency depreciation over the past 12 to 18 months. These factors, it says, will translate into lower loan growth and higher credit costs. And it expects the recent rise in non-performing loan formation to continue into 2016. Still, it says the outlook remains mostly stable despite the more challenging sector outlook. It expects local banks' profitability and other loss absorption buffers to provide a sufficient cushion against the projected rise in impairment costs. This would broadly preserve their credit profiles. And that wraps up the evening highlights. I'm Jaqueline P'ng. Thank you for watching.